Good Sunday morning and welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are some of the headlines that we're following for your Sunday. Today is Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day. There's an event happening at Lincoln Veteran Memorials Park, and it's being hosted by families who have been affected by fentanyl use. There's free naloxone and fentanyl prevention information for anyone who attends, and it's from 11 until 2. Tattoo artists are raising money for abortion access today. If you're interested, you can head down, pick out a tattoo, and the entire cost of your session will be going to Cobalt Advocates. The artist said Fallen Owl Tattoo Studio will be available today in Lakewood from 11 until 4. And today is the last day of Littleton's Western Week. The grand finale, a duck race down Little Creek, and the rubber duckies will swim down the creek towards the Prince Street Bridge. Registration starts at noon and the race is at 1. You can pay $5 per duck or $25 for a 6-quack. And there are cash prizes for the top 4 duckies. So we're taking a look outside right now, 7:01. Things are dry this morning. Gosh, we have the most beautiful sunrises. There was a stormy afternoon yesterday, though, Lisa.
It was. Yeah, roads are still a little damp out there due to that. We do have some pretty conditions, though, in store. As things start to dry out, you're going to still find some showers out west, closer to spots like Eagle, north up towards Steamboat. We do, again, have some flash flood concerns there near some of the burn scars. So flash flood watch in effect until 8 o'clock tonight as you get farther west. If you are heading up to the mountains today, we're going to see more scattered storms, more lightning. You can see some pretty dark skies here. That's from Winter Park here early this morning. So as the roads are drying out, we're still tracking more showers rolling in. Here in town this morning, you're finding 50s, 60s early on. It's a mild start to our Sunday morning. This afternoon, we're going to hit highs right around 80 to about 85. So we're a few degrees below normal, but still pretty comfortable later today. Things will cool. Some neighborhoods like Castle Rock and Parker, you're likely going to see more scattered storms and showers here this afternoon. I'll take it through our futurecast, Jessica, hour by hour, and show you the timing of some of these showers coming up.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Showing support for shooting victims as they continue to heal and asking for answers after Denver police opened fire into a crowd last month. Those were the main goals from a protest in the metro last night. Denver 7's Christian Lopez is live off 20th and Larimer this morning. And Christian, how many people joined in?
Jessica, it was dozens of demonstrators who gathered here at the location where the shooting happened at 20th and Larimer. They were marching, they were chanting. They want those 3 police officers involved to be held accountable. And they also did this to show their support for the innocent bystanders who were hurt and for the suspect, Jordan Waddy. That protest started at Commons Park before they made their way over to this location. And while they were on the way over here, they also confronted a group of police officers who were near 29th and Larimer last night. The organizers of the protest said that they want the Denver District Attorney to skip the grand jury process and prosecute the 3 officers that fired into that crowd. The grand jury will decide whether the DPD officers involved should be charged. If the jury doesn't decide to charge the officers, then it'll be called a no bill and the officers won't have to go to trial. The suspect, Jordan Waddy, however, has faced charges in this case. Protesters told us they're very upset and they want to see more done.
We're outraged at the mass shooting by the Denver police. There's no solution at the ballot box isn't going to work. Calling your congressperson isn't going to work. We're going to have to do it ourselves.
And there's also an internal investigation being done within the Denver Police Department, and those details will then be presented to the Use of Force Board to see if those actions the police officers made were lawful. And meanwhile, 3 of the 6 victims that were injured during that shooting just spoke publicly for the first time, saying that they are still recovering from the emotional and physical impacts that this has caused them. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Christian, thank you for that information. To add a little bit more about some of those bystanders that were hurt during that shooting, they're saying that it's a night that they will never forget. They were all outside Larimer Beer Hall in a crowd of people as officers responded to a fight. Some of the innocent people hurt in the exchange are sharing their perspectives after police released body camera video on Tuesday. One victim can't even bring himself to watch it just yet.
I'm still dealing with the healing process of what took place that day, physically and mentally. I'll eventually watch it.
Everything happened so quickly, and in one of the videos you can very clearly see that the suspect had dropped the weapon before shots were fired.
And as a civilian, if I was to be in that situation or I shot a bullet in that situation, I would have been immediately, publicly everywhere and held accountable.
One of the shooting victims has nerve damage to his hand because of the incident. A grand jury will now decide whether the 3 officers involved should face charges. And this morning, a 13-year-old boy is dead. Another teen is still recovering. This is following a drive-by shooting at a park in Longmont. Denver 7's Amy Wattis was at the scene all evening and spoke to witnesses who saw this tragedy unfold.
Yeah, basically pretty much died in his arms.
Denise Frungian is talking about the 13-year-old boy who was shot here at Kensington Park in Longmont. She says her husband cradled the boy while she held the 15-year-old who police say is expected to survive. He was shot in the leg. The 13-year-old was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Frungian says the boy said a few words to her while she was holding him.
He was worried about his brother, and he kept saying his leg hurt.
As for the 13-year-old,
he was gasping, my husband said.
I heard 4 shots, a pause, and then 2 shots.
Jim Duran lives down the street. He drove to the park when he heard the gunfire go off and says he saw 2 cars take off.
It was gang related, and one car went south and up the alley, the other one went up north and around the corner, and they both took off. There was 2 cars involved.
Police say they have made contact with a person of interest in the shooting. Frungian hopes they make an arrest soon.
Why would anybody, want to shoot a kid? But then again, it's 2022.
And that was Amy Wattis reporting. If you were a witness or have surveillance video from the area, Longmont police are asking you to give them a call on their tip line. That number is 303-774-3700. Police would not confirm if they have anyone in custody. We'll bring you the latest as we learn more. As more students go back to school this week, there are big changes coming to RTD's routes today. Not all kids ride the big yellow school bus. There are many students who use RTD buses as their school bus, and this is to help them out. And it is totally separate from the free rides RTD is offering this month. RTD is reinstating some school tripper service routes, and they're also adding some extra buses to help out students in Boulder so that they can get to and from CU. RTD told us they're also making other timing adjustments.
We base it a lot on traffic patterns, so when there's a large increase in traffic, we want to adjust our timing so that way we don't miss those transfers.
You can see the list of these new changes on the RTD website, and if you know of a change that you would like RTD to make, you can just call the RTD customer care line to suggest that. And that number on their website, rtd-denver.com. You can find that number. RTD's free mall ride detour is extending today. The shuttle will continue to run during the 16th Street Mall project, which means it'll be rerouted to 15th and 17th Streets. That's 3 additional blocks. Construction of the 16th Street Mall project is happening in phases, so detours will change as the project goes on. Well, there are a lot of horses that are in need in our state.
Just feeding them is going to be a massive bill.
Thanks to our Denver 7 Gives viewers, their future is looking a little more stable. And a little later, how often is a grand jury pulled into an investigation? I'm breaking down the typical kinds of cases that they're put onto and what this could mean for DPD officers in the future.